Hello, welcome to the video, welcome back to the channel. Today I just have to do one little piece of leatherette and engrave it. What I'm after is, we got the plunge coming up tomorrow. Had this shirt made last year for me, super plunger. Plunge 353 and counting. This is my first plunge last year. I did 25 plunges last year, so I need to change this number to 378. So I'm just taking a piece of red leatherette from Lone Star Adhesives. I'm going to make almost a 3" by 4" rectangle, engrave 378 in black, and then press it on this shirt. So I haven't done leather yet on my P2, the xTool P2. Everything I've done so far has been on my old D1 Pro 10 watt. So I'm going to have to do some testing. So I'm going to kind of take you along for the ride and show you the process of testing that out. I'm hoping there'll be some stock settings in XCS to give me a starting point. If I have a good starting point from there, I can just tweak it around a little bit. I'm not going to do a ton of testing today because I just need a cheap little patch for the back of this shirt for 2 days from now. So I'm going to sit down at the computer, load up XCS, and see what we can come up with. Alright, just sat down XCS software. I got my leatherette sheet loaded in there, zoomed in. They do have an artificial leather setting. I believe the stock setting for that was power 12%, speed 600 for engraving. So I'm going to do 4 test squares, one of them with those. I got some at 10% power, 500 speed, 15% power, 500 speed, and 12% power, 500 speed. I'm just going to engrave these 4 and see how that turns out. Alright, you can see those. Looks pretty decent. What I'm going to do is just pull up the cut, make a box, a rectangle all around all 4, and use probably not the stock cut setting. I'm going to see what they recommend, and then again I'll kind of adjust it from there and see what we come up with. Alright, so the stock setting they gave us for cutting was power 100%, speed 30 millimeters. I do not like using 100% power on a CO2 laser. It burns out your tube a lot faster. So I dropped that down to 50% and speed 20 millimeters. I think that's pretty similar on what I use for 3mm basswood, and on my old laser I think the settings were pretty similar between my basswood and my leatherette. So I'm just going to run 1 square on that and see how that turns out. Alright, as you've seen, that dropped out right when it's done cutting, so that's a good sign. I'm actually gonna, let's see, either drop my power or up my speed just a hair. Do one more test. Right, looks like it dropped out pretty good. Yep, it wasn't even hanging on by a tab. So I gotta make sure I reference the layout of these. I believe this was the top, but I'm going to take some LA Awesome and just clean that up a little bit and see how it looks. Alright, I got my patch loaded up. I'm going to do engrave 12%, 500 millimeters, and cut 50% at 30 millimeters. I forgot to mention my air settings. I just left them how they were from my last job. Engrave was at 30%, which when I do leatherette I like it less air than more, so 30% on the P2 is as low as it can go without disconnecting the air hose. And cut 100%, usually everything I cut is at 100%. Got that loaded, hit process. Looks like it's only going to take 3 minutes and 49 seconds. Let's start and let her rip. Alright, that's what we're at. It looks okay. It could actually be engraved a little deeper. So, because I've got a camera on this and I haven't moved my leatherette sheet out, I'm going to throw it back in and do one more pass. Alright, that's a refreshed image of my laser. I just put some tape on the edges since I'm not cutting this out again. I'm just going to engrave it. So my first setting was 12% power, 500 speed. I'm going to do one more pass at 10% power and 500 speed and see how that turns out. So hit start. Telling us 3 minutes 37 seconds. Move up here. Hit start up there. And come up to our machine, hit start. I turned the fan off already, so get that sucker turned on. And we're good to go. Alright, after a second pass, it's looking a lot better. Obviously my settings aren't narrowed in yet, because ideally I'm just going to do one pass. But this will work perfect for what I need it for. So again, on the first pass it was 12% power, 500 millimeters per second, and the second pass was 10% power, 500 millimeters per second, and I believe my cut setting was 50% power, 30 millimeters per second. So my cut setting is perfect. I like that. I'm probably going to keep that. I may play around with it a little bit more, see if I can't lower the power or increase the speed just a hair, just to make stuff faster. But that'll work for now. Like I said, it's not a final settings for the leatherette, but for what I need it for, this is going to work. So from that 12% power and 500 millimeters per second, I'll probably maybe go up to like 15% power and then drop it down to 400 millimeters per second just to see how that works. But I'll do some more testing another day. I just want to get this patch brought over to my hat press and pressed on this shirt. Alright, I'm over at my hat press. I do not have a flat like shirt press, but this will work for what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm just covering up the 353 with this patch of 378. I'm going to use the same settings I use for my hats, which is 295 degrees and 30 seconds pressing power. So just letting this get up to temp, and then we'll press it on for 30 seconds and go from there. I will be using silicone pad to protect everything as well. Alright, we're up to temp. I just did a quick press for a couple seconds to make sure the press setting is good as far as depth. That looked fine. I'm not going to change it, so I'm putting 2 silicone mats on it, and we're going to press this down, lock it in, and let it grip for 30 seconds. Alright, let's lift the handle up, get rid of that. Looks good. That is completely on there. Turn my press off. So I'm just going to let that patch cool down for a couple minutes before I take it off, and we'll be good. Alright, there's the end product. There's our shirt. Super Plunger, plunge 378 and counting. That is on there good. It's not coming off. Appreciate you watching the video. Love it if you would subscribe to the channel. Check out all the content that's going to be coming out. And if you're wondering, Super Plunger, plunge 378, yes, I have plunged 377 times so far, all for Special Olympics, Minnesota. I do one plunge every year at White Bear Lake. That's the one coming up this Saturday, January 25th, I believe. And then I do 2 weeks after that down in Rochester. We do a super plunge where we jump in 24 times in 24 hours. So this will be my 16th year going down to Rochester to do the super plunge. It doesn't matter if it's 20 below zero, we still get it done. Hopefully it's not that cold in 2 weeks, but if it is, we'll still have fun doing it. So again, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for checking out my channel, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.